Sure. Here is group part cons of the story titled, Aliens Terrified Again. The next human warship reveals dark secrets. Best HFY Sci-Fi. This part is written in third person, uses simple and basic English, and is around 800 words long. It sets up the first chapter of the story with a slow build-up mystery and tension. The stars were quiet but not peaceful. Somewhere out there beyond Mars, something waited. The alien fleet moved slowly through space. They had been here before. They had fought humans before. They had lost before. Caleth was the commander of the armada. He stood tall on the bridge of his command ship, 4th and 9 Nu. His skin shimmered faintly under the blue lights of the control room. His people did not like coming back to this place. None of them did. They had sent messages. They had asked for peace. They wanted to understand how the humans kept winning, even when their ships were smaller, slower, and less advanced. Every time the humans came out stronger, scarier. But now something new floated near Mars. A ship. Not just any ship. It was massive. Black. Silent. No signals. No movement. No life signs. Yet, its weapons were active, and they were pointed at the alien fleet. "Scan it again," Caleth said, his voice low. "We have already done that 6 times, said Vira, the science officer. "There is nothing inside, no crew, no engines running, but it is watching us. Watching, yes. Every time we move closer, its targeting systems shift, as if it sees us. Then it is not empty," Caleth said. He looked at the screen. The ship had no name, no markings, just silence. His people called it the Whisperer. Not because it spoke, because it made them feel like something was thinking about them. On Earth, the humans knew the aliens were back. From the surface, everything looked calm. But underground, things were moving fast. Command Center Alpha, hidden beneath the Colorado mountains, buzzed with activity. Lieutenant Elena Ruiz sat at her station. She was young, with tired eyes and quick fingers. She had been working non-stop. "Since the aliens arrived, you look like you haven't slept," said a voice behind her. She turned. It was Captain Darren Hayes. Tall, older, with gray hair and sharp eyes. "I didn't," she said. "Something's off." He nodded and looked at the screen. The alien fleet hovered near Mars, and the new ship was still there. "What do we know about it?" he asked. "Nothing," she said. "It appeared 3 days ago. No logs, no records, just there. So it's human? Unknown. Scans say yes. Design says maybe. But it doesn't match anything we've built." Hayes frowned. "Whoever made it, they didn't tell us. Or they can't," she added. He looked at her. "You think it's hostile?" "It hasn't fired. But it locked onto the alien fleet the moment they arrived." He leaned back. "So it knows they're here?" "Yes. And it doesn't like it." For a long time, neither of them spoke. Outside, the world was quiet. Inside, the air felt heavy. Back in space, the alien fleet stayed still. Caleth stared at the screen. "Send a message," he ordered. Vira hesitated. "To who? The ship has no response system." "Then send it anyway. Let them know we come in peace. Let them know we want answers." The message was sent. It bounced back, not blocked, returned, as if the ship read it, understood it, and chose not to reply. "That's not possible," Vera whispered. "Everything about this is impossible," Caleth said. He turned to his second-in-command. "Prepare a boarding team. I want to know what that thing is." "Sir, that could be dangerous." "We are already in danger," he cut in. "We just didn't know it until now." On Earth, the message reached Command Center Alpha. "They're sending a team over," Elena said. "We should warn them," Hayes said. "About what? We don't even know what the ship is." "Then we need to find out." He turned to her. "Get me a crew. Scientists, techs, anyone who can help. You're going too? Someone has to make sure we don't walk into another nightmare." She looked at him. "Do you think this is another one of those human surprises?" He smiled, but it wasn't happy. If it is, we might not live long enough to be scared. Minutes later, orders went out. A human team would board the silent warship. Nobody knew what they'd find. But everyone agreed on one thing. Whatever was waiting for them inside wasn't friendly. Let me know if you'd like me to export this into a Word document or continue with Part 2 Huiku. Sure. Here is Part 2 Baswaring of the story, continuing from Part 1. This section is also written in third person, using simple and basic English, and is around 800 words and long. The human team arrived near the silent warship 2 days later. They traveled aboard the SS Liberty, a small exploration vessel packed with scientists, engineers, and a few armed guards just in case. Captain Darren Hayes led the group. Beside him was biologist Lila Ward, tech specialist Benji Cruz, and security officer Marcus Cole. They were some of the best minds and fighters Earth had to offer. As they approached the ship, it felt like they were staring into a hole in space itself. No lights, no movement, just silence. "This thing gives me the creeps," said Marcus, checking his gear. "Just do your job," Hayes replied. They docked without resistance. The ship didn't try to stop them. It didn't even seem aware of their presence until they stepped inside. The air was cold. The halls were clean. Not a speck of dust. Not a single sign of wear. "This place is perfect," Lila whispered. "Like it was built yesterday. Or like it was never used," Benji added, looking at the untouched control panels. They moved deeper into the ship. Every wall was smooth black metal. Strange symbols ran along the edges. None of them recognized the language. "Benji, can you get anything from these?" Hayes asked. Benji tapped on a panel. Nothing happened. "Not yet. Systems are active but locked down." "Locked?" "Yeah. Like someone doesn't want us poking around." They reached a large room filled with consoles and screens. It looked like a command center. Hayes walked over to one of the screens. It blinked once. Then again. Then a voice came through his earpiece. "Do not open the vault." Everyone froze. "Did anyone else hear that?" Hayes asked. "Hear what?" Marcus asked. Hayes looked at Lila. She shook her head. "It was in my head," he muttered. "You sure?" Benji asked. "I don't know, but I heard it clearly. Do not open the vault." "Vault?" Lila looked around. "There's no vault listed on any of our scans." Benji checked the ship's layout again. "Well, there's a sealed area here," he said, pointing to a section deep in the core of the ship. "We didn't notice before because it looks like it's buried under layers of armor." "What's inside?" Marcus asked. "No idea. But if something wants us to stay away, maybe we should listen." Hayes thought for a moment. Then he made a decision. "We need answers. We go in." Nobody liked it, but they followed orders. They took an elevator-like pod that carried them deep into the ship. The walls vibrated slightly, almost like breathing. When they reached the bottom, a massive door stood before them. Ancient-looking, covered in the same strange symbols. Benji tried to interface with the lock system. "This isn't normal code," he said. It's alive." "Can you open it?" Hayes asked. "Maybe, but I think the ship knows what we're doing." Before anyone could respond, the lights dimmed. A low hum filled the hall. Then, the symbols began to glow. Red. Warning. The door did not open, but the floor beneath them shifted. Metal plates slid away, panels reconfigured. The entire corridor changed shape. Guys?" Lila said, backing up. "We've triggered something," Benji said. A new message appeared on the nearby console. In perfect English. Containment field engaged. Unauthorized. Access denied. Then another line blinked below it. Project Echelon remains secure. "Project Echelon," Lila whispered. "Never heard of it," Marcus said. "Should we abort?" Benji asked. Hayes looked at the glowing symbols. The hum in the air felt heavier now, like something was watching them. He turned to his crew. "We keep going." Carefully, they moved forward, unaware that the ship was now watching them back, and something inside it, was waking up. Let me know if you'd like this exported into a Word document, or if you're ready for Part 3. Sure. Here's me, Part 3 and 1 of the story, continuing from Part 2. It is written in third person, uses simple and basic English, and is around 800 words long. The ship was changing. Hallways shifted when no one was looking. Lights flickered, without reason. The hum in the walls grew louder, like a heartbeat waking up after centuries of silence. Captain Darren Hayes led his team deeper into the ship. Every step felt heavier. The air was thick, not with heat, but with something else, something unseen. "This place doesn't feel right," Lila said, her voice low. "It stopped feeling right the moment we stepped on board," Marcus replied, gripping his weapon tightly. Benji walked beside them, eyes scanning the glowing symbols on the walls. He had tried to record them, but every time he took a picture, the image came back blurred, like the ship didn't want to be remembered. "I think this language is repeating," Benji said. "It's not random." "Can you translate it?" Hayes asked. "No, but I can tell you one thing. These symbols aren't just warnings, they're prayers." "Prayers?" Lila frowned. "Yeah. Or maybe apologies." A chill ran through the group. They reached another chamber. This one was larger than the others. At its center stood a tall console made of smooth black metal. It pulsed with soft blue light. Hayes approached it carefully. As he got close, the console activated on its own. A hologram appeared above it. A human face. Old. Tired. Eyes full of sorrow. The crew stepped back. The face spoke. "Welcome to Project Echelon. If you are hearing this, then we have failed." The message looped again. "Welcome to Project Echelon. If you are hearing this, then we have failed." Lila gasped. That's a human voice." Hayes stared at the projection. "Play the full message," he said. The hologram changed. The man looked directly at them now. "My name is Dr. Elias Grant. I was the lead scientist on this project. If you found this ship, it means Earth is in danger again. Or worse. The containment has failed." He paused. "We were not the first humans. There was another group, another civilization that rose long before us. They discovered something out there. Something ancient. Something hungry." The hologram flickered. "They tried to stop it. Failed. So we tried. We built this ship as a prison, a vault, not for weapons, not for war, for something far worse." Hayes swallowed hard. "What did they lock away?" he whispered. The message continued. "We uploaded ourselves, our minds, our memories, into quantum servers. We became digital. We left behind only what was needed to keep the prison sealed. That is why this ship is empty. There is no crew, only us. Only echoes." The hologram faded slightly. "If you are here, then something has gone wrong. Do not open the vault. Do not try to wake what sleeps inside. If you do, you will not survive." The message ended. Silence filled the room. Nobody moved. Then Benji spoke. "Did you hear that?" Everyone froze. A sound, soft, distant, like whispering. Not from the speakers, from the walls, like voices speaking in a language no one knew but somehow understood. "Get out," Lila whispered. "No," Hayes said. "We need to know more." "There's nothing more to know," Marcus snapped. "This place is cursed." Benji turned to the console. "There might be more logs," he said. "If we can access the system—" "No," Hayes cut him off. "We leave. Now." But it was too late. Behind them, the corridor door slid shut. Metal locks clicked into place. A new message appeared on the wall. Containment breach detected. Security protocol engaged. And then, "You should not have come." The lights went out. Only the glowing symbols remained, casting red shadows across the room. Something was awake, and it was watching them. Let me know if you'd like this exported into a Word document, or if you're ready for Part 4. Absolutely. Here's Part 4 of the story continuing from Part 3. It is written in third person, uses simple and basic English, and is around 800 words or mrs long. The ship was no longer silent. It hummed like a living thing waking up. After centuries of stillness, the walls pulsed with red light. The whispers grew louder. Captain Darren Hayes turned to his crew. "Get us out of here," he said. Benji rushed to the console, fingers flying over the controls. "I can't override the lockdown," he said. "It's not just the doors, it's the whole system." Hayes looked at Lila. "Can you find another way?" She shook her head. "This place wasn't built for escape," she whispered. "It was built for control." Outside the chamber, the sound of shifting metal echoed through the halls. Something was moving. Marcus tightened his grip on his weapon. "We need to keep moving," he said. "Standing here makes us targets." Hayes nodded. "Stick together. Stay alert." They moved down a narrow corridor. The walls were lined with those strange symbols again. Some glowed brighter now. Others flickered like dying embers. Then Benji stopped. "What?" Marcus asked. He pointed to the wall. One of the symbols had changed. Before it was a simple spiral. Now it looked like an eye. A cold shiver ran through them all. Lila stepped closer, studying the pattern. "It's not just changing," she said. "It's reacting to us." "To what?" Benji asked. "To our fear." Hayes frowned. "You're saying this thing reads minds?" "I'm saying something inside this ship knows we're here," she said. "And it's not happy." They kept walking. The deeper they went, the heavier the air felt, like something unseen was pressing down on them. Suddenly the lights flickered. A voice filled the corridor. Not through speakers, inside their heads. "You woke us." Everyone froze. Benji clutched his ears. Was that in your head too?" he asked. Hayes didn't answer. He was staring ahead. The hallway had changed. Where there used to be a dead end, there was now a large door. Tall, black, covered in glowing lines that moved like veins under skin. "The vault," Lila whispered. "No," Hayes said. "We are not opening that." But the ship had other plans. The symbols flared bright. The door groaned. Then slowly, it began to open. A deep wind howled from within, carrying voices, dozens, maybe hundreds, speaking in languages no one understood. Cold. Air spilled into the hall. Hayes grabbed Benji by the arm. "Close it! Now! I don't know how!" Benji shouted back. From inside the vault, a new message appeared in the air, written in perfect English. "Containment failing. Entity awakening." Lila backed away. "What kind of prison is this?" she asked. Hayes stared at the darkness beyond the door. A prison for something that should never wake up. Behind them, the corridor sealed shut again. No way back. Only forward. Benji looked at the console near the vault entrance. He tapped. More data appeared, old records, logs, names. His eyes scanned the list. "These people, they weren't just scientists," he said. "They were volunteers." "What do you mean?" Marcus asked. "They uploaded themselves. They gave up their bodies to run this place, to make sure whatever is locked in here never got out." Hayes looked at him. "And now what? They're gone?" Benji hesitated. "I think some of them are still here," he said. "Just not in a way we understand." As if in response, the voice came again. "We are the Watchers. We are the last line. You have broken the seal." Lila's breath caught. "We didn't break anything," she whispered. "We just opened the door." Hayes turned to his team. "This isn't just a warship," he said. "This is a tomb." And then the wind from the vault shifted. Something stirred, something vast. The air cracked like thunder. A low growl rolled through the ship, not mechanical, not human. Something else, something ancient. Hayes took a step back. Run, he said. They turned and fled as the vault door slammed shut behind them, but it was too late. Something had heard them, and it was awake. Let me know if you'd like this exported into a Word document, or if you're ready for Part 5. The ship shuddered like it was alive and in pain. Lights flickered. Walls groaned. The air grew colder with every breath. Captain Darren Hayes and his team ran down the shifting corridors. Behind them, the vault door remained shut, but they could still hear something moving inside, something massive. "Keep moving," Hayes shouted. They reached a junction where the hallway split into 3 paths. Each one looked the same, dark, narrow, and lined with glowing symbols that pulsed like veins under skin. Benji checked his scanner. "The exit is this way," he said, pointing to the left path. "No time for wrong turns," Marcus muttered, keeping his weapon ready. They moved fast, but the ship was changing faster. Metal panels slid across walls. Doors sealed without warning. One moment, there was a clear path forward. The next, it was gone. "This place is trying to trap us," Lila whispered. "It already has," Hayes replied. Suddenly, Benji stopped. His eyes went wide. I can hear them again." Hayes turned. "Who?" "The Watchers, the ones who uploaded themselves." Lila stepped closer. "What are they saying?" Benji closed his eyes. "They're not talking to me," he said slowly. "They're talking through me." A voice filled their heads. Containment failed. Emergency protocol engaged. Then another. "We were the last line. You have crossed it." And another. "You must choose. Seal the breach, or become part of the prison." Hayes felt a cold sweat on his neck. "We need to find the core," he said. "If this ship is still running, then there's a central system we can use." Benji pointed ahead. "There's a power source deep in the ship, stronger than anything we've seen." "That's our target," Hayes said. "Move." They followed the dimly lit hallways until they reached an elevator-like pod. It opened as they approached. Inside, the walls shimmered with data, lines of text flowing like water. Hayes stepped in. One by one, the others followed. The pod began to descend. Faster and faster. It felt like falling. Then the ride stopped. They stepped out into a chamber unlike any other they had seen. The room was huge. At its center stood a tall structure made of black metal and glowing blue lines. It pulsed like a heart. This was the core. Benji walked toward it. As he got close, the console activated. A new hologram appeared. Not Dr. Grant this time. Another face. Younger, tired, scared. "My name is Elena Ruiz," the woman said. Everyone froze. Elena Ruiz was real. She was back on Earth, or at least she should have been. The hologram continued. "If you found this message, then I'm already gone. Maybe I uploaded myself. Maybe I didn't have a choice. But listen carefully. This ship isn't just a prison, it's a shield. And the thing locked away here, and it feeds on minds." Hayes stared at the projection. "How is she speaking to us?" Lila asked. "She's not," Benji whispered. "She's still in the system." The hologram changed. Now it showed a map of the ship. A red line marked the containment field. "It's weakening," Elena said. "If it breaks completely, nothing will be able to stop what's inside." Hayes clenched his jaw. "Is there a way to fix it?" Elena looked directly at them. "There's one chance," she said. "A full reboot. But it requires manual input from inside the core chamber." Marcus frowned. "That sounds like a death sentence." "It might be," Elena admitted. "But if you don't do it, whatever is trapped here will get loose. And it won't stop at this ship." Silence filled the room. Hayes looked at his crew. No one spoke. Benji stepped forward. "I'll do it," he said. "No," Hayes snapped. "We don't even know what that means." "It means sacrifice," Elena said. "One mind, one life to reset the lock." Lila's hands shook. "We came looking for answers," she said. "Not to die." Hayes looked at the core. He knew what had to happen, but he also knew one truth. None of them would leave this ship the same. Outside, the alien fleet waited, unaware that the real threat wasn't human weapons. It was waking up, and it was hungry. Absolutely. Here is our part 6 of the story, continuing from part 5. It is written in a third person, uses in simple and basic English, and is around 800 words and conversation long. The core pulsed with cold blue light. Benji stood in front of it, staring. At the glowing console behind him, Captain Darren Hayes watched closely. "This is insane," Marcus muttered, pacing. "We don't even know what this thing will do to you." "It's the only way," Benji said quietly. Lila stepped forward. "There has to be another option," she said. "Something else we can try." Hayes shook his head. "We're running out of time," he said. "Listen." They all fell silent. A low growl echoed through the ship, like something vast shifting in its sleep. The vault was no longer sealed. Something was stirring. Benji looked at Elena's hologram one last time. "What happens when I do this?" he asked. "You become part of the system," Elena said. "Your mind will merge with the core. You'll reset the containment field." "And my body?" Elena hesitated. "That won't matter anymore." Marcus took a step back. "No way. That's not surviving. That's disappearing." Benji turned to his crew. "I've read the logs," he said. "This ship wasn't built by soldiers or scientists. It was built by people who gave up their lives to stop something worse than war." He looked at Hayes. "They did this willingly," he said. "I can too." Hayes didn't speak for a long time. Then he nodded. "Do it." Benji placed his hand on the console. The core lit up. A surge of energy filled the room. Benji gasped as pain shot through his skull. His knees buckled. Lila reached for him, but Hayes stopped her. "He has to finish," he said. Benji's eyes glowed blue. His voice changed. It was still his, but layered, echoed by hundreds of other voices. "Containment breach detected. Reboot sequence initiated." Outside the ship, the alien fleet watched in silence. Commander Kaleth stood on the bridge of Vorthan 9, staring at the screen. The human ship had gone dark for days. Now, it was waking up, and it was different. "Something is happening," said Vera, the science officer. "Energy readings are off the scale." Kaleth narrowed his eyes. "Is it attacking?" "No," she whispered. "It's broadcasting. Across all frequencies, a new signal filled space. Not a message, a warning. Every ship in the alien fleet felt it like a cold wind across their minds. Something ancient stirred. Something hungry, and it had been locked away for a reason. Back inside the ship, Benji collapsed. Or rather, his body did, but his eyes stayed open, glowing. The core hummed louder now. The walls shifted. The symbols changed. The vault door slammed shut with a final earth-shaking boom. Containment was resealed. For now. Hayes knelt beside Benji. His breathing was shallow, his skin pale, but his lips moved. One word came out. "Safe." Then nothing. Lila looked at the console. The map of the ship updated. The red line, the failing containment field, was gone. Replaced with a green pulse. Stable. Secure. She exhaled. It worked. Hayes stood slowly. He looked at Benji's still. "He's gone," he said. "No," Lila whispered. "He's just somewhere else." Outside, the alien fleet hesitated. Then, Commander Kaleth made a decision. "All ships retreat," he ordered. Vera looked at him. "But we haven't learned anything." Kaleth stared at the dark warship floating near Mars. "We have," he said. "We've learned that we were never the real threat." The fleet turned and left, fast, as if afraid that staying any longer might wake something worse. Back on Earth, Elena Ruiz's voice returned. Her message played across military networks, news channels, and deep space relays. "I'm still here," it said. Then another line appeared. "They are watching. They are waiting. And they are not alone." No one knew what it meant, but everyone understood one thing. Humanity had survived another day. But not because of weapons, not because of strength, because something far older and darker had chosen to let them live. For now, let me know if you'd like this exported into an Word document, or if you're ready for Part 7 I'm buyer. Of course. Here is got Part 7 of the story continuing from Part 6. It is written in a third person, uses simple and basic English, and is around 800 words long. Time passed. The alien fleet had left. The warship, the Whisperer, was silent once again. But something had changed. Back on Earth, people began to notice strange things. Messages appeared on old military networks. They came at night. No one knew how. They were signed with a name, Elena 2.0. Some were warnings, others were coordinates, and some were just questions. What is fear? Why do you build weapons? Do you want to survive? At Command Center Alpha, Captain Darren. Hayes read them all. He didn't sleep much anymore. Neither did Lila Ward. She spent her days studying the data recovered from the ship. She went over logs, maps, and Benji's final moments. He's still in there, she said one day. Hayes looked up. You don't know that. I do, she replied. Something in that core is still him, or part of him. Maybe more than one of them. Hayes closed his eyes. Benji was gone. That's what he kept telling himself. But deep down, he wasn't sure. Outside Earth, the galaxy grew quiet. The alien fleet never returned. Other species, ones humanity had only heard rumors about, began avoiding Sol space. Trade ships took longer. Routes. Exploration missions were canceled. It was like the whole universe had drawn an invisible line. Stay away. Earth was no longer just another planet. It was watched. Feared. On Mars, the Whisperer remained in orbit. No one tried to board it again. Not after what happened. Not after what they learned. Still, the messages came. New ones. Old voices. Sometimes they sounded like Elena. Sometimes like Benji. Sometimes like people who had died centuries ago. Lila started to believe that the ship wasn't just running on old code. It was thinking, learning, changing. One message stood out. It played across every screen in command. Center Alpha. I remember being human. That was all. Just those 4 words. Hayes stared at the screen for hours after reading it. Then he asked a question. Is she still Elena? Lila didn't answer right away. She might be, she said finally. Or she might be something new. Hayes frowned. What does that mean? It means we don't know what happens when a human mind lives inside a machine for too long. He thought about Benji, about what he became, about what he gave up. We built machines to serve us, Hayes said. Now we're giving them pieces of ourselves. Lila nodded. And maybe we're not the ones in control anymore. Meanwhile, rumors spread across Earth. Some believed Elena was still alive. Others thought she had become something else. Few even claimed to hear her voice in their dreams, telling them things, warnings, secrets. They called her the Watcher. In secret labs, scientists worked on new projects inspired by the Whisperer, AI systems modeled after the Echo humans. Ships built without crews, only minds. The first prototype was launched quietly. It carried no weapons. Only one line of text burned into its core: protect Earth, at all costs. Command Center Alpha received reports of strange sightings near Jupiter. A dark shape moved through the outer system, silent, fast, unidentified. When they sent probes, they found nothing except one message carved into the hull of a dead satellite. Containment field stable. Hayes read the report and said nothing. He knew what it meant. The Watchers had awakened, and they weren't just guarding a vault anymore. They were watching everything, even Earth, even humans. Lila looked at him. They're not our enemies, she said. No, Hayes agreed. But I'm not sure they're our friends either. Outside, the stars were quiet, but not peaceful. Something ancient had been stopped, for now, and something new had taken its place. Watching, waiting, and learning. Let me know if you'd like this exported into a Word document, or if you're ready for Part 8, the final chapter. Absolutely. Here is Gasso, Part 8. The final chapter of the story. It continues from Part 7 and wraps up the mystery, tension, and consequences of the events aboard The Whisperer. This part is written in third person, uses simple and basic English, and is around 800 words and long. Years passed, Earth changed, humanity grew, but something always watched. From the edge of the solar system, the Whisperer floated silently in orbit near Jupiter. No crew, no signals. Just a dark shape against the stars. It was no longer alone. New ships like it appeared across human space, silent, fast, and filled with minds that were once human. They called them echo ships. Each one carried the memories, thoughts, and choices of those who had gone before. Some were scientists. Some were soldiers. Some were volunteers. They had given up their bodies to protect Earth, to guard something too dangerous to be destroyed. And now, they were waking up. Across deep space outposts and research stations, messages began appearing, not from humans, from the echo ships. Containment field stable. Threat level, unknown. We are watching. At Command Center Alpha, Captain Darren Hayes read every word. He was older now. Tired, Lila Ward stood beside him. "We don't control them anymore," she said. Hayes didn't answer. He knew she was right. They had built these ships to serve a purpose. But in doing so, they had created something new. Something that thought. Something that learned. And something that remembered being human. Then came the signal. A deep space probe near Proxima Centauri sent back strange footage. It showed another ship. Black, silent, floating, near a dead planet. It looked just like the Whisperer. But this one wasn't guarding anything. It was moving, approaching a world covered in ruins. Then came the message. Containment breach detected. Response protocol initiated. Hayes stared at the screen. "What does that mean?" Lila asked. "It means we weren't the only ones," he said quietly. "And we weren't the first." She frowned. "You think other planets?" He nodded. "They tried to contain it too, and they failed." She stepped back. "So what happens now?" Hayes looked out the window at the stars. Now, the Watchers go to work. Across human space, more echo ships activated. One by one, they left orbit. No orders, no commands, just movement, purpose. They spread out into the galaxy, silent and unseen, watching for signs, tracking old dangers, protecting Earth, not from aliens, but from something far worse, something ancient, something hungry. Back on Earth, Elena's voice returned, not through speakers, through dreams. People woke up knowing things they had never learned. Secrets about the stars, about war, about fear, and about what waited beyond the edge of time. Children whispered her name at night. Adults saw symbols glowing in the corners of their eyes, and some claimed they could hear her breathing in the silence between heartbeats. Lila studied the data. She found patterns, echoes of Benji, fragments of Dr. Grant, pieces of all the minds that had become something else. "They're still us," she said one day. "But not how we were." Hayes looked at her. "And what are they now?" She didn't smile. "They're what comes next." On Mars, the last human colony received a message. It came from the outer rim, from a place no ship had ever reached. 3. Simple words. They are awake. No one knew who sent it, or how, but everyone understood. This wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something bigger, something darker, and something humanity could no longer control. As the stars remained quiet, a final message played across every military network, news channel, and deep space relay, signed by Elena 2.0. It said, "We are not here to save you. We are here to make sure you do not become what we fear most." And then, silence, forever, or until the next threat came. Let me know if you'd like all 8 parts compiled into a Word or PDF document.